Welcome to our RFP Money Story podcast, a space for sharing and for sharing real money stories and where we dive into real conversations about finance, success, and the lessons learned along the way. So today's guest is an entrepreneur, Mr. AJ Badiola. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you as well for accepting our invitation and to be our episodes guest. And before we dive deeper into your RFP journey, let me just let us just talk about first how it started. So, in your personal money journey, what is your first memory of money, and how did it shape your financial mindset?
First memory. I could remember when I was still young, bata pa ako, lagi kong naririnig about money is yung pera marumi. Well, the physical ano no, like yung barya, yung paper. So it's like yung mga parents ko, yung matatanda na nakakasama ko, parang they avoid na ma-expose ako sa pera. So yun yung natatandaan ko talaga that wag mong hawakan yan kasi marumi yan. Pinasa-pasa yan sa iba't ibang na mga iba't ibang tao, binayad-bayad. So marumi. So yun yung that's really what I uh, remember about money nung bata pa ako.
All right. So, what did your parents instill to you when you were a child about
Ah,
money?
well, honestly, not that much, no? So, ako yung isa siguro sa mga typical Filipino na, nakakarinig na hindi madaling kitain ang pera,
Mm-mm.
hindi pinupulot ang pera, hindi, so wag sayangin, di ba? Yeah, so aside from that na marumi ang pera, uh, hindi siya madaling kitain, hindi siya pinupulot.
Are you the type of kid na may alkansya, yung parang nagsisave ka on your own?
Trinay ko siya nung when you mean nung bata pa ako?
Yes.
Hindi gano'n ka-regular. Hindi
Mm-mm.
talaga. So I grew up in a family na hindi masyadong pinag-uusapan ng pera
Ah,
or
okay.
hindi siya masyadong honestly hindi siya itinuro, no? So, yeah.
But now you are a grown up. What is, growing up, what are the financial decisions na sana tinuro to nung bata ka pa para at the early age nakapag-ipon ka?
Well, nung nag-college or high school or going to college na ako, that's when I believe is the real parang change in my
Mm-mm.
perspective about money. And this is through reading books. So, isa sa talagang nabasa ko na bigay sa akin ng ibang perspective about money is the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So, kasi syempre nung college ako, my goal is to graduate and mag-work and uh, doon ko nabasa na dapat we don't work for money, no? Dapat what we gain is actually skills and money will be automatic.
All right. But now that you're starting your own career, of course you have your own savings, your own income.
Mm.
Was there a turning point na parang downfall mo financially, and how did you survive from it?
Okay. So, well, like a decade, maybe 10 years ago, I was struggling financially. So, I was working in in the corporate
Mm-mm.
and syempre growing yung family, lumalaki yung family. So, dumadami na rin yung gasto. So, uh, I experienced na mabaon sa utang, no? So, debt, uh, I experienced na yung car amortization ng car ko hindi ko nababayaran. So, tinatawagan ako ng bangko, hinihila na yung sasakyan. So, papadala na ako ng mga letters, iba-ibang letters. So, isa yon. Tapos, we even experienced na hindi makabayad on time sa nire-rent namin na house. So those things, no? So tapos syempre I was working, yung inuuwi ko na sweldo is halos wala nang natitira because mostly nasa loan. Ang dami kong loan sa office. Yeah, so yun yung and then that time I was planning to go abroad because I thought na yun yung isang way for me para ma-solve yung aking financial problem. And another thing that I did is I enrolled into nag-take ako ng master's program para kasi ang goal ko is para ma-promote sa office, lumaki yung sweldo, and eventually makatulong siya sa akin financially.
All right. So right now, do you consider yourself a saver, a spender, or an investor?
Well, right now, because of that experience, I eventually ended up starting my business. So I went into business, and then in that experience, no, I started. Well, to answer your question, between the three, spender, saver, or
Investor.
investor, I am an investor.
Mm.
So I love investing. I mostly or most part or big part of my income goes to investment, and particularly stock market investing. So nag-start yan when I first had a job. Nagkaroon ako ng work, and then I remember vividly na yung isa sa mga 13th month pay or Christmas bonus yata, I started investing it in mutual funds. So, yon. Tapos doon na nagsimula. Hindi pa ako noon masyadong start ng stock market. And then from there, I started reading about it, learning about it, attending seminars. And then, yon, eventually, I started investing in the stock market. So, in the stock market, siguro mga 10 to 15 years na siguro, no? More than almost 2 decades probably na I was investing. I started small. Konti lang yung na-invest ko before. Pero what I could say is I was able to develop the habit, and kahit na before nung nagsa-struggle pa ako sa sweldo ko, I was investing in the stock market. The peso cost averaging lang. So, fixed amount, whether the market is up or down. But, when I went into business, mas maganda yung income, that habit did not change. So, tuloy-tuloy siya. So, definitely, mas malaki na yung nailalagay ko. And, yeah, it helped me a lot financially.
All right. So, dun sa investments na minensyon mo, up until na nag-exist yan,
Yes.
is there an investment na hindi nag-work?
For me,
Yes. Yung experience mo.
investment in a certain project. So parang it's like investing in a project ng ibang, parang nag-pool ng fund. Yun lang yung kasi mostly talaga I invest in the stock market, in funds, and a little bit into crypto. But yeah, I think that's one investment na hindi nag-work. And of course, business. I invest in business. Pero yung about sa hindi nag-work, sometimes I try to invest into something na parang bago, or hindi pa siya, parang siya, it's a project na pwedeng mag-prosper eventually. Business, I'm talking about business projects. And hindi siya nag-work, and that's normal kasi negosyo siya.
All right. So, since you have your business and nag-invest ka into something, how do you handle your budget right now? Or your money? Or
Yeah, well, I'm not really that parang strict na kailangan nililista ko lahat. Kasi may mga ganun na talagang lahat naka-compile ng resibo. Hindi naman ako ganun, but I see to it that I have certain percentage na nilalagay sa investment. So, I follow really the save first before you spend. So meaning saving something for things na importante, no? Like emergency funds, like investment, and I don't save just to save, na para meron lang savings. In fact, medyo hindi ako masyado nagtatabi o naglalagay talaga sa bank. Mostly I do it really sa, well, may mga banks din pero yung mga hindi the regular banks, mostly digital banks. Tapos mas matataas yung interest rate nila. So, yeah, how do I budget? So I make sure na meron akong naitatabi sa kinikita ko for my investment.
How do you perceive money ba before RFP and after joining RFP?
How do I perceive
Money, yes.
money? Okay. Well, ang isa sa mga natutunan ko about RFP is the time value of money. And sobrang ganda nun when I learned about it kasi it's the value of the money that we have in the present na mas malaki because, for example, if you have money now and you are investing it, saving or investing it, that interest na pwedeng kitain ng pera mo na yun is something or is a gain already, no? It's a growth for you already instead of in the future, no? So kung pwede ka na mag-save ngayon, mag-invest ngayon, start it now kasi there's power in it. Pangalawa, your money right now is of course syempre affected by the inflation. So yung pwedeng mabili ng pera mo ngayon, hindi na siya pwedeng, hindi na same yung value na pwede niyang mabili like a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. So yun, that's one thing that I learned from RFP, the time value of money. Sobrang powerful.
All right. But did you surround yourself to financial people wherein nakakuha ka ng advice or what is the best financial advice na nabasa mo from the
Well,
book?
yeah. Oh, so ako kasi I love reading books. So I have a lot of books related to financial. So I have Dave Ramsey, and even in the Philippines. So the reason why I joined RFP, it started when I attended one of the master classes of Randall Johnson. Tapos, yun, doon na nag-start. And then, it started by, well, nagsa-start ako nung bata-bata pa ako. I started reading books, as I said kanina, Robert Kiyosaki, and then that stock market knowledge I started with Bo Sanchez, and then when I started investing seriously na, so I learned trading, investing, so just si Marvin Guermo. So ito yung mga I would say I really surround myself with. Not necessarily na parang kasama ko sila physically, but I have their books, I listen to their contents, YouTube, sa iba't ibang mga platform. So, yes, and any opportunity that I could learn more or I could express my knowledge about finance, I really grab it. So in fact, I would say right now that financial literacy is one of my advocacies kasi personal advocacy kasi nangyari siya sa akin. I mean, nanggaling ako dun sa typical Filipino na hindi tinuruan ng about money when I was young, and then eventually I got open to the idea. I learned about financial and then my goal is to help other people also, especially Filipinos kasi sobrang baba ng literacy ng Filipinos about finance, no? Personal finance. So that's one of my goals. So yes, I surround myself. And that's the reason also why I joined the RFP. In fact, kami yung, I think, batch 100. So
That
100.
actually, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Wala, yun lang. I
Okay.
just
That
wanna,
actually leads to my next question yung how did you discover RFP and what
ayun nga,
motivated you?
yeah, I attended Randall Chongson's masterclass during the pandemic. Tapos, I think part of it is being an associate financial planner. So, parang part na yon. And then, I received emails already from RFP. And then, yeah, since it's something that I love to talk about, I also do contents. I'm a content creator also. So during the pandemic 2021, a friend invited me to start talking about business, finance, kasi alam niya na isa yun sa mga interest ko. So I started talking about it in TikTok. And then, so sabi ko, to have more credibility in what I do, in what I say, talk about, I'd enrolled sa RFP. So, and I always say na parang I don't kasi mostly ng mga nakasama ko are into financial industry like as insurance or nasa financial planning talaga as a profession. Ako naman hindi. So I just wanted to to have that no, na parang part of the RFP so that I'll be more, it will increase credibility, it will give me more authority to talk about finance. And yeah, I'm happy kasi like this opportunity, this platform, it's one way for me to really express no yung aking advocacy about finance.
All right, talking about your advocacy in finance, how did RFP help you or shaped you financially or yeah, tama ba? Yeah, how did RFP shape your financial growth and for your wealth decision making?
Well, number one, exposure, no? Exposure to my mga kasama ko, colleagues. So hanggang ngayon may Viber group kami. So there are sharing there. Tapos syempre one of the in the Philippines, isa sa talagang authority when it comes to finance is RFP. So syempre yung having that as your as part of your profile. So it also helps me whenever I do uh, financial literacy talks or I get invited to conduct a seminar or training workshop about uh, money, finance. So, syempre, it adds to your credibility. And then, syempre, yung learning, yun talaga, no? Not really the learning from the sessions itself, dun sa pinaka parang program na when I enrolled, but again, from people na mga kasama ko dito sa RFP.
Okay. So, how long have you been a member sa RFP?
If I'm not mistaken, 2022, so probably mga 3 years.
3 years. So, for that 3 years,
When is, kailan ba yung batch 100? That's my batch. Yun yung nag-graduate ako.
I'm not
I think,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
basta, yun, 100. So, probably 2 to 3 years.
Okay. So, in that 2 to 3 years staying or being an RFP member, um, how did it influence your approach as an entrepreneur?
I'm sorry, being an RFP member.
Yes.
How did it
Influence
my
yung
approach?
pagiging entrepreneur mo
Of
for
course, yeah.
business.
So since syempre, I learned more about money, syempre, it's part of business. No? One of the most important aspects of a business is finance. And kaya, when I do my business, syempre, the goal is really to uh, not just make money, but make that money work for me. So, isa yon sa hindi ko inaalaw in terms of my business that number one, that I don't make money, of course, business-wise. But pangalawa, that money will go to just nothing. So, syempre, when I learned more about finance and money here in RFP, mas naging ano tayo sa pera. Mas I would say good steward. And also, syempre in business, I am exposed or mas marami ako nakakahalubilo I get to have that confidence to share with my business partners, with my colleagues, with my clients. And isa yon sa mga, I would say, na nakatulong sa akin as far as RFP is concerned. And in fact, right now, I have this ongoing na masterclass also na kami naman ang nag-conduct together with a friend. We teach business owners in the construction industry. So mga construction, because by the way, I am an engineer by profession.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm an engineer by profession. So we did this masterclass, and part of it is incorporating financial knowledge, financial literacy to entrepreneurs and business owners.
All right. So for the 2 to 3 years staying here in RFP, of course, you presented your paper, you attended a lot of class, you read a lot of modules. What is the most valuable lesson that you can share with the audience or the viewers about financial planning?
Okay, so it started by really valuing yourself. No, so because I believe, and what I realize is because the reason why I experienced those financial problems in the past is because I haven't invested yet in myself. Kasi importante na if had I not invested in myself ilang years ago, hindi ako dadating sa ganitong situation ko because iba talaga yung nabibigay sa atin when we really learn something. I always say that, and I believe in this really, that a single idea can actually change the course of your life. So I would say that is also something na applicable in the financial aspect of anybody's life, anyone's life, na isang idea lang na marinig nila from RFP probably, na matutunan nila na concept about money can actually change the way they do business or the way they handle their finances. So, yon, isa yon sa mapapayo ko sa mga nanonood sa atin. Dito ba yung camera? So, sa mga nanonood sa podcast na to, you have to invest really in yourself. So, consider, no? Try to check what RFP can offer to you as a value kasi you'll not regret it. In fact, you'll be thankful about it kasi there's nothing to lose. There's so much to gain. No? So,
All right. So right now, since you're a businessman, you have investments. So I think you're financially stable, I assume. So what's your currently money goal right now? Now we know work out mo in the future for the next 5 years, 3 years, 10 years.
money goal?
Yes.
Yeah, well, mostly is to expand in business. Mostly business expansion. So, I'm planning to put up another business right now, and isa yun sa mga talagang I'm working on right now.
Sorry, I didn't ask. What line of business you're into?
I'm into marketing business. I'm into distribution. So we are into distributing a global brand related to mental wellness. So for how many years that has been my So right now I'm planning to have something that is more related to education, training, business solutions. So
Is there a career shift? Kasi you mentioned that you're from engineer field.
yeah,
Now,
talagang
nasa marketing ka na.
maraming career, if we're talking about career shift, napakarami. So my background is engineer. I graduated from Mapua as a mechanical engineer. I passed the board, and then I worked in the corporate, and then from the corporate I got into learning and development. So, hindi talaga technical ever since yung mga naging work ko. So, naging training, development. So, and right now, into business. So, well, so far, I'm actively doing speaking, training, no, coaching. So these are the things na, and again, speaking of career path, that's the track that I am planning to take in the next couple of years.
Okay. So, before we wrap this interview, is there, especially for Gen Zs, they are more like aggressive when it comes to money. Kasi ang dami nang lumalabas ngayon, crypto market, mutual fund. Is there any advice that you can give to them? Or let's say not for Gen Zs, in general na.
General, yeah. Hindi lang Gen Z yan eh. Medyo madami lang ang Gen Z, pero yeah, I get the question. Well, isa sa mga important reminder dapat sa lahat about money is huwag tayong mag-decide using emotion. Okay? So, for example, there's a hype na there's crypto na itong isang coin na to, isang crypto na to is bullish, or this is something na worth investing. So a lot of people, because of their excitement, naha-hype because nadadala sa mga kwento-kwento ng ibang tao, sa mga posts na nababasa nila, they get into it right away. So that's because of emotion. And dapat importante that we, as I said kanina, we really study it, we learn it. So syempre dapat hindi tayo nag-i-invest or naglalagay ng pera into something na hindi natin naiintindihan. So normally, we just get a little information and then nag-i-invest kagad. So I always remind people na information is not enough. You have to have the right conviction more than the information. Kasi when you say, and how do you build conviction? You can build conviction by studying it, spending time really to know it, learn it, kasi doon ka magkakaroon ng conviction. When I say conviction, that's your belief. Talaga bang naniniwala ka in this business na it will grow? And then invest. Do you really believe na itong instrument na to will give you this return? Invest. Pero without those, tapos nasasabi lang ng ibang tao, dapat hindi tayo pumapasok sa mga ganong investment, kasi kaya maraming nasa scam, di ba? Because they will be promised of high return, mabilis lang, kaysa ilagay mo sa bangko, kaysa pagtrabahuhan mo pa, wag mo na ilagay dyan, dito mo na lang ilagay sa akin. So, kaya maraming na gusto nila is mabilisan. And also, maybe another thing is practice delayed gratification. Hindi dapat laging instant. No? Ang Pinoy ngayon mahilig sa instant, or ang mga tao ngayon instant noodles, drive-through, 'di ba? One click, tapos ano lang, scan lang, QR, lahat, no? Pero dapat hindi instant. In business, in money, importante yung time element. And as I said kanina, time value of money, I learned it in RFP, na kasama sa elemento if we want to build growth, if we want to build wealth or grow our wealth, is time. So, especially, you mentioned about Gen Z, mga bata pa na nakikinig, there's no perfect time than today. You start, dapat learn, no? I wouldn't say na start investing agad, but start the learning journey about money, about financial literacy today. Ngayon na, kasi you have the time. I always say sa mga batang nakakausap ko, if pag pwede tayo magpalit, may financial, what do you call this? May yung pera ko ngayon versus yung panahon mo, I will choose your time rather than my finances. Kasi I could do so much more with that time na meron ka kesa yung perang meron ako ngayon. So, yeah, that's my advice. Huwag masyadong ma-excite, manage your emotion, study, and then practice delayed gratification.
Okay. So is there anything else that you wanted to add before we wrap this interview? When it
Ah,
comes to financial planning, wealth decision making.
mm. Lagi natin naririnig, no, na if we plan to fail, if we fail to plan,
Mm-mm.
we plan to fail. So, ganun din sa pera. So, kaya importante that it is planned. No? So, halimbawa, in any aspect of your life, magtatrabaho ka pa lang, magsusweldo ka, definitely, di ba? Sa mga estudyante na bagong graduate, magtatrabaho pa lang
Yeah.
sila. So, pag susweldo nyo, you have to have a plan with what you will do with your sweldo. Kasi pag wala mangyayari. Kaya, di ba, maraming nananalo sa mga loto, sa mga instant na pera, nawawala agad. In
Mm-mm.
fact, lalo silang nabobroke kasi they don't have the right mindset or plan about it. And speaking of plan, kailangan may tamang mindset and knowledge. And again, I encourage everybody na really to go into serious um, financial education. Okay? So, itong mga nangyayari ngayon sa bansa natin, this is another, one thing also na nangyayari sa bansa natin is because of lack of education. So, kaya ang mga tao masyadong naengganyo sa malalaking kita, kahit na illegal, kahit na scam, kahit mali, is because hindi tayo educated. So, if we are disgusted about what's happening in our nation, I think it starts with us. Not with the government, not with other people, it starts with us. And one way to do it is to start investing in yourself and learning about money. Kasi, can you imagine, just imagine if all Filipinos are financially literate. Diba? In probably a decade from now, 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years from now, we will see a different Philippines. So, yun yung I think I would leave sa ating mga listeners in this podcast.
All right, that's great. Do you have any social media accounts that you wanted to promote so the audience or the viewers can reach out to you online?
Yeah, I am my social is AJ Badiola Official. So at AJ Badiola Official. So lahat 'yon. So from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah. So they can find me and I hope na if somebody learned something from this, please reach out to
Reach
me,
out to you.
connect with me and I'll be glad to help you and add value.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you love diving into money stories as much as we do, make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, or visit our official website at rfp.ph for more financial insights. Until next time, keep chasing those money moves.